what I want to do first is explain why we're here today. First, I received a written request from Councilwoman Hubbard and Councilman Henderson to call a special meeting to consider the recall of ordinance number 2016-18 because two council members requested this meeting. As council president is compelled to do so according to the Alabama Code. The ordinance we will be discussing, ordinance number 2016-18, was addressed at our regularly scheduled meeting on Tuesday, April 26th. Because this was the first meeting the ordinance was being introduced, unanimous consent was needed to be provided by the council if the ordinance was to be given immediate consideration. This unanimous consent gives each individual council member the opportunity to automatically move the ordinance to the next regularly scheduled meeting if he or she needs more time for review. Unanimous consent was given and the council approved unanimously. After that, we were able to take up the ordinance, and as you know, the ordinance was approved unanimously. Due to the fact that the mayor has not yet had the opportunity to sign the ordinance related to health reasons, and the fact that we are within 10 days of passage, this ordinance is appropriate for potential recall. Okay, the next item on the agenda is going to be resolution number 2016-56. It's a resolution to recall ordinance number 2016-18. Do we have a motion for that?
Mr. President, I move that we approve resolution 2016-56, the resolution to recall ordinance number 2016-18.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. I'll ask our city clerk if she will read that resolution for us.
Be resolved by the City Council of the City of Lawrenceville, Alabama, the municipal corporation as follows. Whereas on the 23rd of April 2016, the City Council voted to enact ordinance number 2016-18. Whereas, following the vote of the council, the ordinance was submitted to the Honorable Leon Smith as mayor for his consideration and signature. Whereas the mayor has failed and or refused to approve or veto said ordinance pursuant in section 11.5-4 of the Code of Alabama, 1975. Whereas pursuant to the operation of law of the ordinance number 2016-18 is currently not enforced and effect. Whereas it is the opinion of the City Council that ordinance number 2018-16 should and be recalled in accordance with the provisions of section 11.5-3 of the Code of Alabama, 1975. And therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Lawrenceville, Alabama, that ordinance 2016-18 be recalled prior to becoming law pursuant to section 11.46-8 of the Code of Alabama, 1975.
Thank you, Cheryl. Okay, do any council members have any questions or comments related to the resolution?
Yes, sir. I do. It's come to our attention from our attorney that ordinance 2016-18 might have serious implications under Title IX concerning our own school system as well as the utilization of our public parks. We're recalling this ordinance prior to it being enacted to further confer with our attorney and our legislative delegation. Our intention on adopting this ordinance was to ensure the safety of our citizens and to do what we felt was in the best interest of our families. We will continue to place those issues at the forefront as we go forward in assessing our position in the current law concerning this very important issue. I would like to take this opportunity to announce that with ordinance 2618 in hand, I'm going to contact our state delegation and begin work with them on one of the most effective and punitive anti-predator laws in the nation.
I truly believe
That if we are to have change in America, it has to start in our municipalities.
the work we do here
Can quickly help to spread the effective anti-predator laws nationally.
if we address human trafficking,
Pornography and childhood predators, our city can quickly be seen statewide and nationally as a safe city with no tolerance for predators.
Mr. President, last Tuesday, April 26th, our city council voted unanimously to pass ordinance number 2016-18. We as the city council felt this ordinance was needed to defend the safety of our citizens, especially our women and children. Because of a recent policy put into effect by a business chain that has a local store in our city. This policy stated that a person may enter a restroom that corresponds with their gender identity. This policy is very vague and open-minded. It gives no criteria or guidelines to define how to determine a person's gender identity. Because there are no guidelines with the policy, we felt this would open the door for our women and children to become easy prey. This new policy makes it easy for sex offenders, child molesters, and pedophiles to have an opportunity to claim that they are of a different gender without any criteria to determine their gender identity, and therefore increasing their chance to cause harm to the innocent, especially our women and children. My stance on the creation and the reasoning of this ordinance has not changed. We, as an elected council, are expected to provide safety for our citizens. I believe we've done that. I've heard that the biggest issues with this ordinance are centered around two areas. The first area is faulty wording. If there's an area that needs to be corrected or worded in a different way, then we can make that change with the help of our city attorney. The answer is to amend the ordinance, not to recall it or to rescind it.
Just out of respect for everyone here, I'm just going to ask that everybody maintain order.
Mr. President, I've also heard that the ordinance is unenforceable. This is completely not true. The wording of our ordinance is much like the wording of many of our laws. The ordinance lists what is considered a violation of the ordinance and the penalty for committing that violation. In order for a violation to be enforced, it must be witnessed by an officer, or a written complaint must be filed by another party who witnesses the offense, and a warrant issued. The same is true of disorderly conduct, of driving under the influence, of noise violations, and many other laws. There must be a witness for the offense. Again, if the wording needs to be amended, I would support that decision as long as it didn't change the intent of the ordinance to protect the safety of our citizens. But rescinding the ordinance is not the answer. Fellow council members, last week we made a decision that we felt was right to protect the innocent. It still is. I believe we need to stand behind our actions and do everything that we can to ensure the safety of the city of Austin. Thank you.
I'd like your comments also. Some of these are going to be repetitive. I apologize. On April 26th of this year, the council unanimously passed ordinance 2016-18. This ordinance was passed in reaction to the announcement from retailer Target regarding the bathroom and changing room policy. I truly believe each council member voted to pass the ordinance out of a public safety concern over this policy to do what is in the best interest of our families. We consider this matter a done deal. However, our attorney, Mr. Ron Allen, recently contacted council members, stated that there are some serious concerns that come to light, and as our attorney informed us of some possible applications that the ordinance as written could have. he suggested that the ordinance be recalled. Time be given to research, review, confer with our legislative delegation, potentially develop a better ordinance. Potential recall of this ordinance in no way changes or indicates a change in the convictions, terms of the members of this council, nor should it be seen as us giving it any group or organization. I personally fear for the direction of our nation. I personally fear for the direction our nation appears to be headed in. I am concerned over the decline in common sense and decency. The only hope I see for America is found in 2 Chronicles 7:14-17 states, "My people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways. Then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin, heal their land." God help us. For our Christian brothers and sisters who feel we're letting you down by recalling this ordinance, I say please consider the earlier comments regarding the recommendation from our attorney. I ask, what would you do if your attorney recommends you to take action? The matter is not over, but we need to seek further counsel and guidance as stated. Do not want us to have a stronger ordinance to better meet the challenges that might be presented. I'm already hearing from those that will vote for recall will not be reelected. Is that the Christian attitude to have? I ask you to please continue to pray for us. Your support, not criticism, is appreciated. Jesus' words in Matthew 7:1, he says, "Judge not, be not judged." Please don't judge us by a political decision. Please examine our hearts, our lives, and our accomplishments. I think you will see we are just like you. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? I would like to share, when political correctness pushes those to promote policies, create unsafe environments, we as leaders are charged to stand up and protect our citizens. This ordinance was put in place in an effort to protect our women, children, and families from voyeurs, exhibitionists, child molesters, sexual predators, and others who would use these policies to their advantage. It was a safety issue when we passed the ordinance last week, and it's a safety issue today. Absolutely nothing has changed. One of our greatest responsibilities as a city council is to promote and provide for the public safety of our citizens and visitors to this city. Our citizens have a right, a fundamental right to a safe city, to be able to shop and use restroom facilities without concerns or fears. And over the past week, I've heard from those who are concerned about the rights of the 0.3% of the population that identify themselves as transgender. And I certainly respect that. But my question has to be, what about the rights of the 99.7% of the population that do not identify themselves as transgender? Do they still have rights? Do they not still have the fundamental right to a safe environment? I know those such as the Southern Poverty Law Center, the ACLU Foundation of Alabama, and the ACLU have instituted a fear campaign regarding potential litigation. I'm not impressed, and I'm not moved in any way. If anyone really thinks the word litigation would not come up, our attorney made that crystal clear for us during discussions of this ordinance, specifically as it related to Title IX. It wasn't a recent revelation. We have to understand that many groups would utilize litigation as a way to bully their political agenda. I, for one, still have confidence in our legal system. I actually believe that courts can still get it right. Litigation with a subsequent decision in our favor would not only be a win for our great city, but it would be a win that could change the course of our entire nation. I, for one, am up for that battle. Quite frankly, I'm amazed we're even here discussing this today. Men's restrooms were designed for biological males. Women's restrooms were designed for biological females. It's a common sense concept that has been in place for quite some time. Some have requested that we repeal this ordinance due to their saying the ordinance makes transgenders feel embarrassed and uncomfortable, placing themselves in an embarrassed or uncomfortable position was a personal decision on their part. Public safety should not be compromised for the general public because of the personal decisions of a few. Regarding the question as if we should have let the state address this, should we really wait on the state to intervene on a situation that affects the public safety of our citizens? I believe our citizens expect more, to be proactive when possible. It's a fundamental expectation of this city council to act swiftly and decisively in matters of public safety. As leaders of this city, we cannot compromise on public safety. Period. It's worth standing up for. That means political correctness, fear of litigation, and the almighty dollar should never hold our city ransom and should never stand in the way of public safety. We're far better than that. Our citizens are depending on us to get this right. The overwhelming majority of our citizens are expecting common sense and leadership to prevail today. I, for one, am committed to this without apology, and I will not back down from it. It's time we, as a city, reclaim order and ensure the safety of our citizens. And with that, I will ask our city clerk to please call the roll.
Councilmember Hubbard?
Yes.
Councilmember Gardner?
Yes.
Councilmember Spurlin?
No.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Council President Waits?
No. The resolution is approved. There is one other item of business we need to take care of today, which is a request by a couple of our council members to move our next regularly scheduled meeting from Tuesday, May 10th to Thursday, May 12th at 6:30 p.m. Do we have a motion for that?
Move.
Any questions or comments? Okay, Shirley, we call the roll.
Councilmember Hubbard?
Yes.
Councilmember Gardner?
Yes.
Councilmember Spurlin?
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson?
Yes.
Council President Waits?
Yes. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Thank you. Have a good day. Be careful.